Once upon a time, in a small Igbo village filled with palm trees, masquerades, and noisy goats that never minded their business, there lived a young woman named Mgbeke. She was tall, slim in some places, wide in other places, and always wore her wrapper like she was fighting with it. Her laughter could scatter the whole compound, and her mouth. Her mouth was sharper than a new razor blade. Everyone in the village knew her for two things. 1. Her big dreams. 2. Her bigger wahala. Mgbeke always said, "One day, I will leave this village and travel to America. When I reach there, I will marry a rich man, buy a big car, and drink milk every morning like oyibo people." Nobody took her seriously. The elders laughed, the children laughed, even the goats bleated in mockery. But fate, being the mischievous trickster it is, had other plans. One hot afternoon, Mbike's uncle, who had been living in America for 30 years without coming home, suddenly sent a letter. Inside the letter was a visa application form and a note that said, "Dear Mbeke, I know you are the only niece with stubborn courage. Come to America and help me sell African food in my restaurant. Maybe you will find husband here. Good luck." Mbeke nearly fainted. She ran through the village screaming, "I'm going to America. I'm going to America." People clapped, some hissed, others shouted, "Better don't go and disgrace us there." Her mother only shook her head and said, "Mbeke, remember that America is not like Nkwo market. Behave yourself." But how could Mbeke behave? For the next 1 month, she walked around the village practicing her American walk and greeting people with, "Hello darling," in a terrible British accent. The day she left, half the village escorted her to the airport. She had tied 2 wrappers, wore one oversized wig that looked like angry lion, and carried a go bag filled with dried fish, gari, and bitter leaf. When she entered the plane, wahala started. The air hostess said, "Welcome aboard, ma'am." Mbeke replied loudly, "Good afternoon, my sister. Please, where can I wash plates in this your motor?" The whole plane burst into laughter. When the plane started moving, she shouted, "Driver, abeg slow down. These people no get traffic light." When the plane finally lifted into the sky, Mbeke grabbed the man sitting beside her and screamed, "Blood of Jesus. This motor has no road. Where is the road?" The man almost choked from laughter. When the plane landed in New York, Mbeke stepped out and saw tall buildings that looked like they were trying to touch heaven. She shouted, "Chinik. See upstairs upon upstairs. How do people climb this kind of house?" Her uncle came to pick her up. He wore a big jacket and dark glasses. Mbeke hugged him and said, "Uncle, so you're still alive. I thought America swallowed you." Her uncle laughed and said, "My dear, welcome to America. Behave yourself." But could Mbeke behave? Never. Inside the subway train, she shouted, "Driver, abeg stop for me at Nkwo market." People laughed so hard, some recorded her with their phones. By the next day, her video was already on TikTok with the title, "African Auntie Asking Subway to Stop at Market." She went viral instantly. Her uncle owned a small restaurant called Mama Africa Kitchen. He asked Mbeke to serve food. On her first day, one white man came and said, "Can I get jollof rice?" Mbeke shouted, "Customer, you have made the right choice. Jollof rice that can wake a dead man." The man smiled nervously. Another customer said, "Excuse me, do you have vegan options?" Mbeke frowned. "Vegan? My sister, we don't sell that one here. We only sell goat, chicken, fish, and sometimes tortoise." The restaurant was always full whenever Mbeke walked because people loved her loud jokes, even when she wasn't trying to be funny. Soon, she became the face of the restaurant. One day, a tall, handsome African-American man named Derrick entered the restaurant. He was muscular, with a smile that could melt butter. When Mbeke saw him, her wrapper nearly fell. She whispered to herself, This one is husband material. Original, not China. Derrick ordered egusi soup. When she brought it, she bent low, battered her eyelashes so hard they almost flew off, and said, "Handsome, this soup has love inside. If you eat it, you will marry me." Derrick burst into laughter, but from that day, he kept coming back. Soon, people started posting her funny restaurant videos online. She became an internet star. One video showed her shouting at a customer, "Eat your fufu like a man. Don't use fork and knife, I beg." Another video showed her singing Igbo songs while frying plantain. America had never seen anything like her before. Brands started calling her for adverts. One company wanted her to sell wigs. She agreed, but when she wore the wig, she shouted, "Oh, this thing is too hot. You people want to roast me alive." The video sold out the wigs. But not everyone was happy. Some African Americans mocked her accent. They called her a village girl. One day, during a live interview, the host asked, "Mgbeke, do you ever feel embarrassed about how you speak?" She looked at him, laughed, and said, "My brother, accent no cook soup. If your accent cannot cook jollof, please shift." The whole studio clapped. Meanwhile, Derrick had fallen for her. He loved her honesty, her humor, and her big heart. But he wanted to be sure. So, one evening, he invited her to a fancy American restaurant. When the waiter brought wine, Mgbeke shouted, "Oh, ordinary zobo you people are selling for $50. Tufiokwa." Everybody laughed, but Derrick saw beyond the comedy. He saw a woman who was real. That night, under the city lights, Derrick held her hand and said, "Mgbeke, will you be my girlfriend?" Mgbeke screamed so loud the pigeons flew away. "Yes. But on one condition, you must marry me in Nigeria with masquerade and talking drum." Months later, they flew back to Nigeria for the wedding. The villagers who once laughed at her now lined the streets, shouting, "Our daughter has brought oyibo husband." The masquerades danced, the drummers drummed, and Mgbeke, in full bride attire, danced like she had swallowed generator. Her mother cried tears of joy. Her father said, "I knew this, my daughter will shock the world." And truly, she did. From a small Igbo village to America, from laughter to love, Mgbeke proved that no dream is too big, no accent is too heavy, and no rapper is too tight. Her story became a legend, told around firesides and classrooms. And whenever people asked her how she made it, she laughed and said, "My secret is simple: never be ashamed of who you are. Even if you are Mgbeke, shine like Mgbeke."